CAIIB English Medium channel. I hope all of you are doing fine. Today in this particular session, we'll be talking about the Indian economy and Indian financial system, and that too, what are the highly possible or highly likely topics which can be asked from your module C. So the topic which will be asked in this particular examination from module C, we will try to decipher that. Along with that, what all topics have already been asked in the previous examination cycle, we will be discussing that as well. So IIFS high yielding topics for module C. Let's get started. First and the foremost thing, when we talk about the general idea of module C, you must be knowing that this particular module is one of the most difficult one and considered as the toughest one. Reason being, a very simple reason is there, the facts. You have to remember n number of facts from this particular module. So if you are a person who is very much curious to know the facts, you will find them here. And if you can easily answer the questions based on the chronology, then you will find this module interesting. Otherwise, some extra effort you have to put in. So starting off with the financial system overview, we have various topics which are important. The evolutionary phase is one of them. So how the Indian financial system has grown over the years, how it has evolved over the years, the story, the timeline, the chronology you must remember. Then comes the important committee in the name of Narsimham committee, from where you will find question on regular basis. Every time IIBF asks the question from Narsimham committee. But apart from this committee also, what all committees are there in the module C, you must focus on them as well, because committee based questions are highly likely to be asked by the IIBF in May 2026. Then we have the systemic functions of various institutions, why we are providing a specific financial setup for our country. The reason behind that is important, how we are doing that via various prudential norms. Reason being, why we must know that, the theoretical part also, because in the examination you will find some questions related to the theory and you have to interpret, how you can interpret those particular questions statements if you know the exact background. Also, when we talk about some important highlights, some important updates which are there in 2025, you must remember that as well. So updates also are one of the part in your first unit of module C. Then comes the banking structure. In the financial sector, in the financial system, you will find banking sector as one of the most important topic in the entire module D, entire module C, because we are the bankers and we must know what all types of banks are there, why they have been instituted by the government. RBI is very much serious about which type of banks, where do we need to push more. All these facts, factoids you must remember. So classification under the RBI Act 1934, important for your 2026 examination. Commercial banks, what do we mean by this classification? What all banks are included here? Cooperative banks, what is the difference between urban cooperatives and the cooperatives as we call it, the state cooperatives, district cooperatives? Differentiated banks, be it the payments bank or the small finance banks, what are the norms related to the priority sector lending in small finance banks? Because SFBs, the RBI has given its update for your SFB's overall PSL guideline also, it has been decreased to 60%. Then comes the banking legislation chapter, the third chapter of your module C, where you will find good discussion related to your RBI Act as well as the Banking Regulation Act. Both these acts are very important. Do not try to pick and choose the various sections. All the sections which are mentioned in your third chapter of module C, you should be able to answer them. Fine. So the key areas or the focus areas should be RBI Act specific section, let's suppose 42, and banking regulation section 24, CRR SLR discussion. When you talk about the banking regulations, section 11 is also very important, because paid up capital questions are asked on regular basis. Fine. What is the minimum paid up capital for a particular financial institution? Every time they ask this question. Then we have for your RBI Banking Regulation Act section 5 and 6, definition and permitted business activities, what all types of business activities you can do for a particular financial institution. So all these basic regulations, along with that the specific you can say tasks which has been assigned to a specific section. That is very, very important. Next comes the DFIs and your infrastructure discussion. The next unit talks more or less about your DFIs only, and that too chronology. Here also you must remember the chronology. Chronology is very, very important, and via this chronology how you can go through various topics. So start off with the IFCI, then move on to ICICI, then IDBI, then SIDB, like that, which all specific organizations are there for our country's development. When we talk about the niche institutes like NABARD, SIDB, Exim Bank, National Housing Bank, the characteristics of these banks, why they have been founded, what all are the contribution of these institutions, that is very, very important. Then comes the MFIs, your microfinance institutions, wherein you will find a good discussion around the regulations, the RBI regulations, and two important models. One is your self-help group model, second one is joint liability group. What is the difference between SHG and JLG? What do we mean by your SBLP, SHG Bank Linkage Program? What are the finer details of that program? How NABARD is trying to implement it, and what about that program is so much lucrative that SHGs want to be a part of that. So the core of India's microcredit movement, which is led by NABARD, linking self-help group with the formal banking accounts. Fine. So for the formalization of your SHGs has been done via this SBLP program, a very, very important one, the you can say hit project of NABARD. Then we have JLG, your joint liability groups, how they are different from your SHGs, that is very, very important. Next, the regulatory framework, RBI directions for all these microfinance institutions is the most important one. You will find question related to RBI framework, the regulatory framework in the examination. Then we talk about the micro loans for the PSL norms. Find the PSL norms for your micro loans. The micro loans, they are categorized under the priority sector lending for your commercial banks. So you must know that also, that what all norms are there for the microfinance institution, the small you can say group of people who want to have money for their overall betterment. Then we have NBFCs and your scale based regulation framework. The NBFCs, again, very, very important when we talk about the overall financial system of our country. So the SBR, your scale based regulation, you must know all the layers. There is top layer, then we have the base layer, start with the base layer, then we have the your mid layer, then upper layer, and the top layer, which is often kept empty. So what all types of assets are classified in each of these layers, that is very, very important when we talk about the SBR framework. In NBFCs, more or less regulatory type of questions, the regulatory framework type of questions you can expect. Then comes the insurance sector. The genesis or the evolution of insurance sector is very, very important. Fine. Every time we talk about module C, you will find good number of questions based on the evolution itself, that what all you can say institutions are there who are having the direct relation with the insurance regulator, that is IRDAI, and how IRDAI has evolved over a period of time. So what is the penetration, the density of your insurance sector, whether we will be having some important rules, norms, regulations for the insurance sector in the upcoming years, or for that matter in 2025 budget when it was you can say announced that the FDI limit will be increased to 100%, whether it has been implemented or not. So now we have 100% as described by the finance ministry also. But yes, all the updates are very, very important along with the chronology. So you will find that more or less your module C talks about the chronology itself. If you know about the chronology, you are good to go. Then comes the regulators and their roles. Simple, we have four major regulators. We have RBI, we have SEBI, also we have the IRDAI and your PFRDA. All these are the major regulators which you must know. So RBI for banks, SEBI for the securities market, PFRDA for your pension bodies, and your IRDAI for the insurance sector. All these are very, very important. What are their specific roles? You must remember. Then the basic developments in the banking sector, the developments which have been there since, you can say, 1950s only, started with the 50s when we went from the industrialization to the formalization of banking. So that is the old, you can say, chronology which you must start off with, but ultimately the questions will be asked from the latest updates, like what do we mean by bad banks, how the setup of bad banks has evolved in our country, what are the ease reforms. So in the book ease 5.0 is mentioned. You can do up to 7.0 because IBA has given a proper framework for ease 7.0. now so we also have the 8.0 on their website. Then what do we mean by NABFID when it comes to the infrastructure financing? What is the role of NABFID in our country? Also digital rupee, because again that is also one of the revolutionary development when we talk about the developments in the financial sector or the banking sector. Fine. So yes, this was it for your module C. All these topics are very, very important when we talk about the entire module C. Now, how to approach the module C for your May 2026 examination? So the priority should be given to module D first. Fine. If you are starting from today, try to give the priority to module D, then move on to module C. Also, the section numbers are very, very important. From here, Banking Regulation Act, your RBI Act, you will find regular questions. Plus, as I keep on saying, do not ignore the practice. You must practice on regular basis. You won't find time afterwards because already we are having less than 75 days now to crack this examination of IE and IFS. Lastly, the trend updates you should not miss, because ultimately the questions from the recent trends, recent updates will be asked from module C as well, because we are talking about what? About the RBI and the Banking Regulation Act. Okay. So yes, this was it for today's session. If you have any question, any query, want to have a discussion around whatever we have discussed, you can directly comment in the comment section. And also, since I just have told you that less than 75 days are left for our exam, now the structured preparation must be done, and for that we have dedicated courses in the form of JAIIB Mahapack. There is one-stop solution for your JAIIB exam needs, and if you want to enroll in the course, you can directly call us on 0981 981 9247. Plus, for maximum discounts over and above what is offered in the website, you can directly apply the discount code to have the more discounts, that is Y1003. This is the discount code which you can directly apply and avail the maximum discounts. Okay, so see you guys in the next video. Till then, goodbye everybody, take care.